welcome to the SMRC Scottish Legends Cars Championship, and as you can see, the drivers on the anti-clockwise configuration at Knockhill, on a damp Knockhill as well, making their way around behind the John Clark pace car, that BMW from John Clark. Thank you very much for that. And well, okay, the grid has been drawn. Very tricky conditions for these guys here. You can see the track starting to dry, but probably not a long enough race for a dry line to come to the four. Colin McNeil on pole position from David Hunter, Jordan Hodgson and Ben Mason. That's a very, very powerful second row alongside each other there. Then we've got John Bushby and Rally Dave. David Newell, keep your eyes out for that white 60 car further back down the pack as well. All sorts of good people in the mix here. Ivor Greenwood, a championship man, he's alongside Duncan, Vincent, we've got Michael Paxton and Ryan McLeish as well. And Stuart Black quite near the back of the field, but that second row looks very powerful with Hodgson and Mason as the guys climb up Duffy's Dip. And we are about to go racing here at Knockhill. Round to come. Can Colin McNeil hold on to the race lead here at the start? David Hunter, a man who's very firmly in the driving seat for the championship as everybody makes their way up towards the lights here on the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge for race number 1 of 3 today. Damn tricky conditions. Let's see how this one unfolds. Red lights on and off they go, and away we go down towards the hairpin for the first time of asking. Let's see who fans out from behind that leading pile of cars, but everybody stays in line as they come in towards hairpin. It's McNeil on the inside, and it looks like he could possibly keep that. David Hunter trying to go around the outside, and does so as well. And Jordan Hodgson does the cutback underneath him, so the two teammates swamping around Colin McNeil as they head towards Clark. We go on board with a lovely Ivor Greenwood picture there as he goes flying by John Bushby. Running towards Clark corner, tricky conditions. He's got to try and stop the car for Clark. It's not an easy job to do. And oh, Mark Beattie across the grass, goes back on. Oh, how did nobody hit him there? That was incredibly close. Duncan Vincent almost straight into the back of Mark, but thankfully he didn't. Mark just come back on the track and seemed to stop almost instantly as David Hunter leads in towards McIntyre. And I've got to say, there's a dry line starting to appear now. Now that's exploded the pack as well. Look at that, behind maybe they've got the top 7 cars going to go through. Then behind Ryan McLeish, a big gap back with Mark Beattie sliding across the grass there. That really did put a big hole in the pack as Hunter goes over the crest of the hill for lap number 1, heading towards the hairpin. Vincent there starting to pass Beattie on the run over the crest of the hill as well. And Mark Beattie will be very thankful that he got away with that one as Hodgson tries to go underneath his teammate. What you don't want to do there, Jordan, is wipe out the teammate or maybe even the team boss. I don't know how that goes in that camp, but oh, very close with Rally Dave as he leaves the hairpin as well. Jordan Hodgson, though, hungry for a victory here and very much due a victory as well. Showing some fabulous pace this season at Stephen Maker's car as we go on board with what looks like Michael Paxton. Michael Paxton, a beautiful clinical manoeuvre up the inside of Clark there to get past Mark Beattie. That was a good manoeuvre by Michael Paxton. And look at that from Mark Beattie though. He's not shy, he retaliates on the exit of Clark's, puts himself back ahead. So what Paxton gained on the way into the corner, he swiftly lost on the way out of the corner. Hunter leads from Hodgson as they go up the hill from Ben Mason, Ryan McLeish. Those guys all pulling away. Ben Mason, oh, was Ben a bit wide there. Then Rally Dave, David Newell behind him. Then it's Duncan Vincent ahead of Ivor Greenwood and Stephen McGill as we go over the crest of the hill. That rhymes actually, that's quite good. Underneath the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge, Ivor Greenwood goes past Duncan Vincent on the brakes on the outside. Good manoeuvre from Ivor. Vincent doesn't put up too much of a fight there, just cleanly outbraked by Ivor. Greenwood goes through the hairpin. A little bit of understeer on the way through there. He was slow next to the corner. Here comes Vincent back alongside him. Vincent pull up alongside. No, he can't. He tries to get Ivor Greenwood, but he thinks discretion is the better part as the two Cresta Racing guys make their way in towards Clark corner. Ben Mason from the Scottish Legends cars. Oh, Ben, where are you going? That's very unlike Ben Mason. He goes a little bit wide there and comes back on in front of Ryan McLeish. So Ben Mason for Scottish Legends cars. His teammates a little bit further down. We've got John Critchlow, we've got Mark French as well. But Ben coming through the chicane there, and those floppy bollards are in striking distance. Duncan Vincent's lost a huge amount of time behind that to Ivor Greenwood as Rally Dave looks up the inside of Ryan McLeish, but young Ryan, the man who's in with the championship shout this year, very much so, just cuts the nose off David Newell as we go up the main straight and to start another lap here. Still David Hunter from Jordan Hodgson, Ben Mason, Ryan McLeish. Oh, Greenwood popped out from the slipstream. He's past David Newell. Nice and early. Ivor Greenwood, good manoeuvre. Mirror signal manoeuvre stuff there. Ivor not slow in the straight line. Oh, he's gone into the corner too hot though. You can see that. Then he turned the wheel, nothing happened. David Newell back past him. Duncan Vincent now sniffing about the back bumper of Ivor. And that will upset Ivor a little bit as we go on board with Michael Paxton. Out with the hairpin here, just squeezing that throttle pedal, racing gently, grabs the gear with his right hand. You can see the dash lighting up and he's turning up and change gear. Into the gears quite long there as he goes round towards Clark Corner. Paxton, a very much improving man and figure all the way through the course of this year. Really starting to get the hang of driving one of these Legends cars as Colin McNeil has a little bit of a grass tracky moment at the back, and Stuart Black not really making much in the way of ground up in heat number 1. Meanwhile, as we come through McIntyre's, Hunter from Hodgson, these guys looking very smooth at the front. Not your normal Legends race. They've managed to pull the pin, as the old saying goes, and they've got a nice gap between them and the pursuing pack. And actually, it's all stretched out, but McLeish and Mason together, and then the 3 white cars as McLeish makes a move on Mason, Greenwood makes another move on Newell, Vincent watching and McGill behind him as they come in towards the hairpin. A drying line, you can see that on the right hand side of the circuit. Both Hunter and Hodgson decide to stay away from that. They go through. Mason's had a pass made by McLeish there, and then David Newell very sideways on the exit of the hairpin. That's going to make him lame. Vincent's alongside him as they come towards the exit point of the hairpin, and can Duncan Vincent squeeze past before they get to Hislops and Clark Corner? There goes Ivor Greenwood. The camera's just missing out that just now. The leaders come through, further back down. Yes, Vincent's ahead of David Newell. A beautiful slide through and out the corner there, right in front of Rally Dave. He's a man that will appreciate that oversteer moment there. As through the chicane, minus any floppy bollards now. We can see them all lying at the side of the track in several small bits of plasticky bollard form, not in the same shape they used to be in, as they come through McIntyre's. Now Ben Mason's got a bit of a lease of life here, hasn't he? A second wind. Ryan McLeish has got past him, and he's now got Ivor Greenwood all over the back of him as these guys all together go up over the crest of Duffus Dip. Underneath the Beatson's Bridge there's Vincent and Newell very much wanting to get a back pass on Duncan Vincent down to the hairpin, and Stevie McGill just behind him. As we come into the hairpin, Ben Mason decides, just discretion being the better part, not trying to go past and make any manoeuvres there, as we are now in the middle of the circuit looking down from basically where the commentary box is. You can see them flashing past Ben Mason with good speed in that 22 car today. But what has Ivor Greenwood got in store as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all come through, and 6, 7 and 8 as well in towards chicane. Very easy to get your braking wrong on the way in there, and that's basically how those floppy bollards get taken out. Oh, side to side contact with Mason and Greenwood. Not really an overtaking place, the chicane, but Ivor thought about it, trying to bully Ben Mason a little bit there. And has Duncan Vincent got enough time and speed left in that car? He's got waved yellow flag at the top of Duffus Dip. What have we lost up there? Has Vincent got enough speed and time to catch up with the back of Ivor Greenwood as we see John Bushby throwing himself with a bit of gallus over the tyre wall there. John unfortunately broken down on the inside of Duffus. You can see him in the black car as a driver warning flag comes out now, just out of our sight, but no doubt that will be for Ivor Greenwood. As he gets past Ben Mason on the run towards Clark's, has he got enough time? Is Ben going to be brave on the brakes? Yes, he is. What will Ivor do here? Great footage looking back into the eyes of Ivor Greenwood as he comes through Clark there. Ben obviously managing to keep that one going. And oh dear, Ivor Greenwood, a face full of mud from the back of Ben Mason there. And that really, you can just see Ivor Greenwood's vision basically going from next to nothing. The front of that Legend absolutely black with mud now, and that's like Duncan Vincent come right up to the back of Ivor Greenwood. Ivor unfortunately wiping that with his glove and smearing it across his visor as the yellow flag still waves at the top of Duffus, so no overtaking until we get to the next green flag, which is the start-finish straight, the top of the hill. And through they go, and that was very interesting to see Ivor Greenwood get a face full of mud from Ben Mason's. Duncan Vincent now having an attack on Ivor Greenwood as they go in towards the hairpin, but onto the last lap here. But it looks like Vincent doesn't have enough to get past Greenwood. David Hunter still leads on the way from his teammate Jordan Hodgson as he comes through Clark Corner, negotiates it for one more time A lot of people will be making a lot of mistakes. There you can see all the mud at the exit of the corner over the kerb. People have been running over the top of it as they go through into the chicane. Duncan Vincent seems to have shrugged off the attentions of Rally Dave. And he'll be quite happy with that because David Newell's a fast man. The track drying rapidly through this part of the circuit as well. But it's been a faultless drive for this man in number 6. He's been pursued hard by his teammate, Jordan Hodgson, playing the able rear gunner definitely as they come over the crest of the hill. The Cresta Racing guys will be delighted with this one. A 1-2 for the team as they come up towards the checkered flag. It's a win for Dave Hunter. It's second place for Jordan Hodgson. Ryan McLeish comes home in third, with Ben Mason fourth. Greenwood, Vincent and Newell round out 5, 6 and 7. Stephen McGill, Michael Paxton and Stuart Black going up to 10th, rounding out the top 10. Fastest lap of the race went to Ivor Greenwood with a 103.2. Let's see what Heat 2 brings us. Heat number 2, and look at the track conditions now as the guys will make their way in towards McIntyre's once again behind the John Clark BMW. Stuart Black this time started right at the back of the field earlier on, and he's on the front row alongside Kieran Beattie. We've got a reversal off the first grid. You've got Stephen McGill alongside Mark French up there, and what we do see though at the very back, the man who won heat number 1 will be David Hunter and his teammate Jordan Hodgson, with Colin McNeil bring up the very back. But it's going to be pretty exciting this race. It'll be good to see exactly how everybody gets on. Drying track as we make our way up towards the start lights. The red lights are on the Beatsons Building Supply Bridge. Who's going to get the run into the first corner? Will it be Beattie? Will it be Black? Out go the lights and down towards the hairpin we come as we go on board with Duncan Vincent now. Ryan McLeish in front, Vincent on the right hand side, cuts across to the left hand side. He's passed 2 or 3 cars already, right in towards the back of Kieran Beattie. He's going to get Stephen McGill on the exit of the corner as well. Looking back from the number 7 New College Lanarkshire car now. He gets alongside and passes McGill on the run through Hislop's towards Clark Corner, so that's him up into 3rd place from 8th or 9th position starting point in the grid. McGill very fast on the run in towards Clark Corner there, and down the back straight Stuart Black leads from Kieran Beattie as they go in towards the chicane. Beattie was thinking about a look up the inside there actually, and by the time they get there Beattie goes through on the inside. Oh, he's very hot though, bounces across the curb. Vincent watches for where they're going to go. Black manages to get himself through the corner, but that got a little bit messy at the top of the chicane there as Vincent now makes a move on Beattie as they go side by side through Leslie's over the crest. Beattie goes onto the damp part of the track and just drives off and falls into the gravel as we look back from Vincent. That's Stephen McGill now, and he's got Ivor Greenwood all over him, and Michael Paxton as well, and smoke coming from one of the cars. Was that Mark Beattie there? Fair bit of smoke coming out of that as Vincent's in the slipstream, pulls out from the slipstream, jinks to the inside, onto the brakes and past the number 52 car. The fine side timber car of Stuart Black there. And Black tries to tuck in behind Vincent, gets a good drive out the hairpin and heads off towards Clark Corner in the lead in that number 7 car. Stuart Black in second place, got a mirror full of somebody. Is that Stephen McGill still in that 3rd place? McGill very racy. There's Ivor Greenwood. Ivor Greenwood got past going into the hairpin. So as we come down the back straight now, he's got Ivor Greenwood tucked right up behind him, Stuart Black, and that's going to be a bit of a tough fight now. As they come to the chicane, Kieran Beattie will be a little bit more respectful, I would imagine, this time, as Vincent was a big sideways over the first curb there. But nice dry track, dragging the back wheel on the back fender as well. A lot of smoke through there. But you can see the racing line's dry. Anything else, though, is very much wet. And you're going to have to watch out for that, because one little mistake puts yourself onto the wet part of the track, and you could be in that gravel trap. Ryan McLeish on the back of Michael Paxton as well. Michael Paxton very much an improving man throughout the course of 2018, and Ivor Greenwood slowing him on the main straight there. McGill pulled out and passed him. So is Ivor Greenwood suffering some sort of problem, or did he just not get a very good run out of Duffy's dip there? as they're two abreast in towards the hairpin. Paxton up the inside of McGill. This is Greenwood we're on board with. Something going wrong with Ivor Greenwood. Yes, that's a retirement for Ivor Greenwood, and that's an absolute disaster for the championship. Greenwood retires on the way out of the hairpin, and he parks the car on the grass on the infield, and that releases Michael Paxton now. He's up behind Stuart Black as Vincent comes through chicane. Nice bit of a buffer that he's managed to build up on this last lap as Ryan McLeish has a bit of an energetic line through the chicane there. Looks like it went a little bit wrong on the way in, but Ryan managing to not remove any of the floppy bollards. He got himself through over the crest of Duffus Dip. They go Vincent, Black, Paxton. Great drive from Paxton just now. McLeish, then McGill. And then David Hunter has come up from the back of the pack, the back of the grid. He's got himself up onto the back of Stephen McGill just now. To the inside goes Michael Paxton on the brakes. Is he brave enough? Down the gears he goes. He's looking for his apex there. Yes, he is. He's up the inside nice and smoothly. Very well executed overtake as we go past the stricken Ivor Greenwood on the inside. Paxton now has eyes set on the back of the number 7 car up the road of Duncan Vincent. And can he make any inroads up towards that car? As we see Vincent just tipping through the windscreen on Paxton's car there. Paxton made a bit of a mistake. Black's trying to get alongside him in towards the chicane, but Paxton will keep that one. Yep, it's not really the greatest overtaking place yet because it still looks a little bit damp offline on the way in. We've seen a few people making a few mistakes here, and Stuart Black just getting a little bit frisky with the floppy bollards as Vincent pulling away at the front now for that little mistake by Paxton. Just trying to help him out. Michael Paxton, we should say, fastest lap off the race at this point. We'll be very happy with that one as we look back from Duncan Vincent to Michael Paxton defending from Stuart Black. Michael Paxton with a 59.1 as he gets a big bang up the rear from Stuart Black as he come in towards the hairpin. Onto the brakes they go. Paxton down, holds the inside line. Unless Stuart Black's going to go right round the outside, that will be Michael Paxton's corner, and it is, as they head towards Hislops now. The number 52 car right in the slipstream of the number 5 car. He goes towards inside, but the thing is, Clark, there's a big wet patch that you need to go over to get through the corner, so Stuart Black thinks better of it. He really has found a great turn of speed this year as he has a big moment off the end of the exit curve at Clark Corner, and still Dave Hunter unable to get past a very hard charging Stephen McGill in that number 15, the central car. Scotland legend as he comes through the chicane. I think that's a sponsor, not 100% sure. We'll get that one for Stephen the next time. As they go through Leslie's and up the hill, Paxton still coping with the pressure from Black, and it's quite growing pressure through the top of Duffus. They go Ryan McLeish all on his own, and there we go McGill and Hunter, and then we've got Hodgson and Mason in the 2 blue cars as they go underneath the Beatson's Boring Supply Bridge, and that looked like David Newell and Billy Waite flashing through as well. So Rally Dave a little bit out of sorts in heat number 2 as we go back on board with Paxton. Out of the corner he goes again past the stricken Ivor Greenwood. You can see Ivor standing spectating in the middle of the circuit, and look at that, and look at his mirror at the top of the screen. Stuart Black homing in as we go towards Clark Corner. Oh, there's one tap in the back as we go towards Clark Corner. Paxton turns in. Oh, he gets another hit up the back from Stuart Black, and off the road he goes. Paxton wide into the gravel trap. So a little bit of NASCAR style bump and run from Stuart Black there, and Paxton rejoins from a second place, rejoins quite far down the field now as Vincent comes through the chicane. Down Butchers and up he goes. Stuart Black in second place. Then we've got Ryan McLeish. David Hunter now ahead of McGill with Hodgson and Mason. Then Paxton. Paxton's gone from second all the way down to 7th place. He'll be pretty upset with that one as we go through McIntyre's on an ever drying track now. You can see the racing line getting wider and wider all the time here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. David Newell still with Billy Waite all over the back of him as he goes over the crest of Duffus Dip. Then Kieran Beattie and Colin McNeil, who we go on board with now, over the crest of Duffus for Colin. Oh, big slide for Colin. Round he goes. Thankfully nobody collects the number 4 car there. Colin selects a gear. Oh, lovely little spin turn there, Colin. 10 out of 10 for that one. And away he goes. Is that Colin smiling inside his helmet there from that spin turn? The number 4 car pulls away from that spin at the top of Duffus Dip and heads on for another lap as Vincent comes through Clark right out to the end of the exit curb. He's built up a nice buffer now, about a 4.5 second lead now as we go through and down the back straight. And then David Hunter also trying very hard here to catch up with Stuart Black. The debris flag from the marshal there. Look at Stuart Black, what a stylish drive coming through the chicane there. Beautiful little 4-wheel drift all the way past the first curb and straightened up for the second curb. That was poetry in motion from the number 52 car. And David Hunter now coming under a whole heap of pressure from a man who will be battling in the championship now. Ryan McLeish, very much fast this weekend, as Vincent comes over the crest of the hill in that number 7 car. Black follows. And then we have got the number 6 car and the 71 car together, the 8 to 22, the 15 and the 5 almost on the grass. He is almost on the grass, squeezed by Stephen McGill. McGill showing Paxton absolutely no room at the end there, but Paxton tries to go back up the inside. Oh, there's contact. Up in the air goes Paxton, climbs up over the wheel of McGill. McGill chops the nose off Paxton on the exit of the corner. Classic legend racing there. All the way in towards Hippen and aware of it, and they both gather themselves back up, and it's exactly the same as it was on the way in. As Vincent heads down the back straight, now Stuart Black starting to maybe look in his mirrors for the silver 6 car, which is coming up behind him. But through the chicane goes the number 7. 1 curb, 2 curb, down the dip, back up the hill. Look at Stuart Black. Beautiful line through the chicane there. David Hunter in tow with Ryan McLeish behind him, and Jordan Hodgson under huge pressure from that number 22 car of Ben Mason. As we go on board with Duncan Vincent, over the top, underneath the bridge, fist pumping the air there, past the podium, past the team, and there's a checker flag. It's a win for the number 7 car. Absolutely delighted with that one. He is in second place. Is going to be Stuart Black, and David Hunter just holds on to that 3rd place from Ryan McLeish. So we'll hand down and get a couple of post-race interviews. The rest of the guys all coming through, and what a great heat too.
I'm delighted with that race. It was fabulous. Kind of got caught a little bit with car setup. It was drier than we expected, so we went out with a kind of halfway house. But the car was flying. It felt really, really good. It was enjoyable. Some good quick lap times, and to pull away at the front like that is always a great thing to do, you know. And it's nice to start short shifting through the gears, save the engine. Watching my mirrors to see what my teammates were up to, and they had a pretty exciting race. One of them was parked beside the track, and then unfortunately Michael Paxton, something happened to him when he was in a really good second place. Also the fastest man of the race, Michael Paxton, so great stuff. First win in 3 years, absolutely delighted with that. So yeah, let's hand back up to me in the commentary box.
You join us here for the Legend Final, and look at this last race of the day. Beautiful dry track. The most successful drivers of the day start at the very back, and that being David Hunter, Ryan McLeish and Duncan Vincent at the very back there. And that was quite a bizarre, strange post-race interview. We'll give them that. But through come the cars on the front row of the goal, behind the John Clark BMW. We should say that. We've got number 30, which is Mark French, and 86, John Critchlow from the Scottish Legends Cars stable. Behind them, we've got the 2 Beatties, Mark and Kieran. And Mark Beattie really is starting to find a good turn of speed. Ivor Greenwood's up at the front as well. Not a place he's normally used to starting in the final, but mechanical failure in race number 2, where we saw Ivor parked at the side of the track. He spectated for most of that one through the exit of the hairpin. And let's see how they get on with this one just now. Through the top of Duffus. And we have a nice, beautiful dry track. About time too. Red lights on the bridge. Up towards them they come. Critchlow and French, lights out, and we're racing down towards the first corner, the hairpin. And look at Mark Beattie. He popped out nice and early against the pit wall in that dark grey car. And Beattie looks like he's going to take this one. He's very brave on the brakes as we go on board with the number 7 of Duncan Vincent. He's got Jordan Hodgson right beside him there, and I winced myself in the commentary box. He's going around the outside of 3 or 4 of them there, and that's French. There's Billy Waite on the inside. Good exit from the hairpin. And there is Michael Paxton. He's going to have him. He's going to have Colin McNeil on a run towards Clark as well. What a fabulous start in the final for the number 7 car. Ben Mason probably a bridge too far to try and get past the way in towards Clark. But good first couple of corners for Duncan Vincent as he comes through there. Beattie from Greenwood down the back straight just now. And Mark French there goes through. Has that car got a misfire at the back? Difficult for us to hear there as they come through the chicane. Oh, big sideways for Critchlow. And he's Ivor Greenwood just behind Beattie as they go in towards McIntyre's. David Newell goes past Critchlow. Duncan Vincent dive bombs him as well at the apex of McIntyre's, as did Ben Mason. And Stephen McGill involved in that as well. I think I might have got Vincent and McGill mixed up. Oh, Stephen McGill over the apex curb at the top of Duffus Dip there. And that car was completely airborne. Taking a little bit too much sausage curb was Stephen. As we go over the crest, they'll bump drafting from Ben Mason on the back of McGill and towards the hairpin there. Getting a big push was McGill as we go on board with Vincent. Vincent not bump draft, past one on the brakes, round the outside, past two on the brakes. Can he get McGill as well? He's got Rally Dave just in front of him. Great manoeuvre, 2 cars in one round the outside of the hairpin. We see McGill in the left-hand wing mirror there, and he pops back in board. We're on board, we're looking at Rally Dave. Just backs out with the throttle there, you could hear him breathing on it there. Rather than hitting the back of David Newell, he's thinking up the inside of David Newell. Vincent getting himself through the pack pretty swiftly here. Let's have a look for David Hunter. He's still behind. And where's Ryan McLeish's Billy Waite? Has a big wobble down the Clark's corner section as well. Still down at the back. David Hunter just taking his time. Those guys, though, have got a championship to think of, so they can't be just as keen at the start. Oh, Beattie goes through the floppies. Oh, McGill. Off he goes. Did something break on that car, because that swapped ends so quickly. As we go back on board with Vincent now, he's got Beattie as he goes up through Leslie's, close to the back of Beattie. Beattie goes over the curb at the top of Duffus. Oh, big sideways from Beattie, and Vincent just pulls out, goes past, grabs a gear, and that's how you want to pass them. Over the crest of the hill, he's now got David Newell just in front of him as Greenwood looks for the lead at the hairpin, but Mark Beattie says no. He cuts across the nose of Ivor Greenwood, and Duncan Vincent's now got past David Newell, Rally Dave as well as they leave the hairpin, heading through Hyssop. What a fabulous final this is for the number 7 car. Remember, started down 13th, 14th, 15th place as we come into Clark Corner. Beattie from Greenwood, from Vincent, from Newell. Down the back straight they go. Then it's Kieran Beattie, Ben Mason, Michael Paxton, Colin McNeil the next car, but quite a gap back to him as over the all sorts of red bits of paint goes everybody there through the chicane. And we now go on board with Ivor Greenwood as Ivor comes a little bit wide of the exit of McIntyre's. Vincent's on the outside. Look at that, right round the outside at Leslie's for Duncan Vincent, but that could make him lame onto the straight. Ivor Greenwood sees David Newell right behind him now as they go up over the crest of the hill. Vincent dives towards into the track. Greenwood goes towards the pit wall to try and get past. As they come over the crest of the hill, there's going to be battle on the brakes here in towards the hip, and Beattie will be looking at his mirrors as Vincent tries to fend off Ivor Greenwood. Can he do it? Yes, he can. There's another place. So up into second place now. Ivor Greenwood has got David Newell all over the back of him now. And obviously that engine that's slotted into Ivor's car seems to be working after the retirement in heat number 2. David Newell behind, David Hunter behind Ryan McLeish and teammate Jordan Hodgson. As through Clark Corner they come. Vincent has now got a bit of a charge on if he wants to win the final. He's got to try and catch up with the flying Mark Beattie as he comes over the chicane now. Beattie 1 curb, 2 curb, and sideways off that one as well. Very much on it now as we go on board with Ivor Greenwood. Turns in through Butchers. Oh, big lump of curb. Oh, sideways round he goes, right in front of David Newell. David Newell just misses Ivor Greenwood, who spins and parks himself on the apex of McIntyre's. Well, that would have definitely caught Ivor's attention and also David Newell's attention. Great cat-like reactions from the man they call Rally Dave to avoid skittling into the 37 car, and Vincent's just set the fastest lap of the race. It's a 58.4 in his pursuit of Mark Beattie. Mark Beattie can see the white 7 car homing in and also the white 60 car following him as they head towards Clark Corner now. So Mark Beattie, car number 85, with his brother Kieran, who just leaves the shot as well, the white car with the gold roof. And Vincent now onto the back of Mark Beattie's got to try and not be too smart or too quick with this. If he goes too early, the chicane's not really an overtaking place. It's all about trying to... Oh, he's a bit ragged through the chicane there, sideways all over the place. You've got to try and do it going through the last corner and get a good slipstream through and onto the main straight. Good bit of car control even McIntyre's. Just listen to this. Breathing on the throttle pedal there, but over the top of diff as he comes. Bit quicker onto the main straight, pulls out to the inside, up the gears, and past Beattie goes, so that's into the lead for the number 7 car now. Through goes Duncan Vincent into the lead. Beattie tries to react straight away at the hairpin, but Vincent pretty strong, pretty handy on the brakes this weekend. has been a bit of a sore point for him throughout the course of the year. As we see Ben Mason in a fine 5th place now, heading towards Clark Corner. So Vincent from Beattie, from David Newell, from Michael Paxton, then Ben Mason. A big gap behind Ben Mason. Next car was Colin McNeil a lap or two ago. It is now Stuart Black, or is that Ryan McLeish? That's Jordan Hodgson. Get it together. The commentator can't ID a car that's coming through Clark, so Jordan Hodgson, very sorry. The Stevens Baker's car comes through there. There's a plug for you as he goes over the chicane left and right as we look for the rest of the guys coming through. Billy Waite, the last car on our screen, as Vincent goes over the crest of Duffus Dip right out towards the edge of it. Beattie has got Newell problems, and Rally Dave has really come alive in this one. Somebody's finally woken him up. It's taken a long time today, but David Newell goes to the inside. Can he make that manoeuvre stick on the brakes as they come down towards the hairpin? Rally Dave always strong on the brakes, but Mark Beattie just cuts across the nose in front of him as the number 7 New College of Lanarkshire car for Burnet Motorsport goes through, and David Newell does a bit of rally ditch hooking through the apex of the corner and scatters some gravel all over the track surface there. And the next man to deal with that was Michael Paxton and Ben Mason. As we see them disappearing towards the distance, Vincent now starting to put a little bit of time between himself and a beautiful drift there. Oh, David Newell who makes a bit of a mistake there. The gap between Vincent and Beattie 1.4 seconds just now. But David Newell was in a bit of trouble coming through there. It looked like he was understeering his way through Clark's quite a bit. As Mark Beattie now sideways over the chicane, and David Newell's going to have to watch he doesn't drop back too much into the clutches of the ever-improving and fast Michael Paxton. Paxton's fastest lap of the race, a 59.2, as he goes over the crest of Duffus Dip, chasing David Newell now. Then he's got Ben Mason behind him. Then, as I said earlier on, a big gap behind Ben Mason to Jordan Hodgson. Pause for breath as the leaders all make their way past Ben Mason in that 22 car, a car which he's campaigned for so many years. As into the hairpin comes car number 7. And Duncan Vincent drove a pretty handy race here, to tell you the truth, coming from the back to the front on the final. He managed to get quite a few lucky holes at the beginning, but sometimes in Legends it's the right place at the right time, and it's all about not forcing the issue. As we see the guys coming towards Clark Corner. Nice dry track for them to finish the day on, which is what they would have been wanting. Some guys do enjoy racing in the wet, as Paxton's under David Newell there. So David Newell under all sorts. Oh, and there's a car in the tyre wall. That was Colin McNeil. And that car has hit the tyre wall pretty heavy at the hairpin. And that's a shame for Colin McNeil. The recticel displaced and the red flags come out. So that is going to be the end of Legend Heat number 3, or the final. And Duncan Vincent takes a victory, takes 2 victories in the one day. Mark Beattie second, David Newell third, Michael Paxton, Ben Mason the top 5. Great stuff, 58.4, the fastest lap of the race for Vincent. And what a cracking way to finish the Legends.